I would say financial services is probably ahead of most telecommunications, although we're seeing some pretty good examples of telecommunications outside Europe and the U.S. South African Telecom and QTEL, which is in Qatar Telephone, they have a huge customer base, 44 million, which is way bigger than the population of Qatar. But their customer base goes from Morocco to India. And so they're really thinking about how do we, they have a lot of legislative issues because they're dealing with things in a lot of different countries. They certainly have a lot of cultural issues in terms of all these places where they are. But at the same time, they also are trying to make sure that if you ever get one of our handsets, that you never let it go. Well, of course, we'll change it and update it, but that you also always stay with us. And so I think we're seeing some real leadership coming from some odd places, and they're really looking not just at how can we get the best return on the investment that we're making in our advertising or branding or even our direct marketing or our direct mail. They're looking at, we've got a customer now. How can we make sure that we keep him and his family in our customer base forever? And how can we make sure that we get him to get his friends to become customers? And how can we make sure that his company becomes our customer? And they're very serious about making sure that they are reducing the cost of serving customers even as they serve those customers better, which is something that I think we should emphasize. As companies become more experienced in their, more mature in their customer experience, I think we're seeing companies that are also able to reduce the cost of serving customers in these better relationships because, in fact, they're becoming much more efficient. Instead of offering everything to everybody, they offer to Jeff exactly what he needs. They offer to you exactly, they just go right around the table. So I think that's a very important part of it. I can give a quick example of that. Hibernian is another bank in the UK, an insurance company in the UK, and they decided they would start offering insurance to students. So these are teenage drivers, who of course are the worst drivers in the world. I mean, in the US we drive at 16, I think it's crazy. 18 is bad enough. We're coming. And so basically what happens is that for Hibernia, they were putting up billboards that offered good students special breaks on the policy cost. Well, what happened was all students were answering those public ads, those mass media ads, and so now a bunch of calls are coming into the call center, but only about 20% of the callers were even qualified for the program. So now the company's paying all and generating bad will by having to say, no, I'm sorry, we can't even give it to you. So instead, they went to the schools, got the names of the good students, texted them, the good students text back, then they get a call. At that point, they become much more efficient. They're only talking to the people who are qualified for the program, and they closed 100% of the deals. So it's great for the students, obviously. It's great for the company, reduces the cost, and yet is a great service. And that's part of the power of being able to be a mature customer experience company.
Yeah, and you asked the question about which industries are more mature, what companies are more mature, and it's a question that Martha and I have had too. And there's no doubt that financial services and like insurances and banks and telecommunications, they were some of the early adopters because of the way their products generate profit. Right. They generate profit over a lifetime, and
generate a lot of information about customers.
And they have a lot of information about customers because of the transaction nature of the relationships. However, I think a lot of other industries are doing a great job. Hospitality and gaming are doing a fantastic job. Harrah's in the U.S. is a fantastic example of what they're doing.
Client of yours, client of ours.
Of course, yeah. There's many other examples. Retail, 1-800-Flowers. They've got better than 14 different brands that they operate, multiple channels, brick and mortar, and of course e-stores. And of course, not only do they want to improve the efficiency of how they use the information to improve the experience that Martha has when she goes to buy the flowers, but they also wanted to improve cross-outlet shopping between different retail brands. And by using an enterprise capability and developing an enterprise customer experience strategy, they were able to improve cross-retail brand shopping by 71%. So my point is, many other industries, such as retail, are becoming very mature. So we see greater differences between companies than we do between industries
Yes.
in their maturity.